Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's hungry country out there, so no matter where you live, be aware that everyone needs to eat every day. Sorry to tell you, but grocery shortages are coming. Here in 2023, we're still facing ongoing shortages. Nearly 1 year ago today, President Biden even warned that we were going to be facing food shortages. And probably you've noticed in the last year, prices have gone up dramatically. Some of the foods we used to be able to find are unavailable or have been through ups and downs of shortages and huge price increases. And just the general sense of what we're going to be able to find to feed our families. I know I personally am feeling some uncertainty about the future. That's one reason I want to make sure that I'm aware of what foods my family will eat, what foods are available, and what are in short supply. If there are some predictable food shortages of foods that you enjoy eating, then you might want to pay attention and see if that's something you want to add to your stockpile and check and see if you have enough. Corn is a food to worry about. Historically, Ukraine has been one of the major producers of corn. With the ongoing invasion of Ukraine, we know that they're not going to be able to plant and harvest and have the sustainable food sources that we've relied on in the past. And if we think it's going to mean shortages for us, think about the people that live in these countries, in these regions, where all of this unrest and this fighting is going on. Plus, even if you think you never actually imported food from Ukraine, you need to think about the countries who did. Because if someone used to be able to get the food from there, that doesn't mean they don't get food anymore. They have to go get it somewhere else. If you go to Walmart and they don't have the food you want, you go to Safeway, you go to Albertsons, you go somewhere else. And that is exactly what countries will do when they can't import the foods that they need. They go to another country to buy that. That means prices are going up as more people are wanting the same food. Supply and demand. If everybody wants eggs, look what just happened. There weren't as many and everybody wanted some. The prices went skyrocketing, which luckily I've seen the prices coming down somewhat. But for how long, we don't really know. And so it's good to be aware of what prices are going up, what foods might be in short supply. Wheat, flour, bread, that is another food item that's going to be in short supply. Once again, because of the problems in Ukraine. Ukraine is a breadbasket in our world, and they produce a lot of grains. And so grain is going to be the same as corn. We may not be able to have a reliable, sustainable supply of the basic food that we count on having. Vegetable oils are becoming in shorter supply. If you enjoy sunflower oil, canola oil, palm oil, and this is coming from Indonesia, which has put a cap or an export ban on exporting of oils. So if you can't get the oil from Indonesia that you wanted, then guess what? You need to find another oil source and maybe a different oil. If I go to the store and I can't find what I want, guess what? I'll go down another aisle and choose something else. And so even if you think that that food isn't something that you use, when people can't find the foods that they want, guess what? They're going to buy the foods they can find. So you may say, well, olive oil isn't in short supply, which is what I use. But if people can't find canola oil, they're going to march over and pick up olive oil or something else. And so that's why it can affect the foods that you want, even if the foods in short supply aren't the ones that you care to buy. Look at what happened with baby formula. It's still an up and down supply and demand problem. I don't even know how to explain how we haven't made a priority to ensure that our most vulnerable citizens of the world have the food that they need. And yes, it's wonderful if you can breastfeed, but that's not possible for everyone at all times. And so rather than judging how mothers feed their babies, we want to make sure that there are fed babies and whatever it takes that babies can have the nutrition that they need. We need to protect the most vulnerable population on earth. That's something that I've noticed, that even where they used to have big aisles, big selections of baby formulas, now those selections, those shelves have narrowed. They're under lock and key. Sometimes there's only one or two actual varieties when there used to be many, many different kinds. And I don't even look at it that much simply because I'm not in the market for baby formula, but I still want to be aware of what's going on so that I am aware of what are the supply and demand, what are the shortages, and how can I better prepare to take care of myself and my family and our individual needs and desires. And that's what I want you to do as well. We can't just boycott food. We can't say, well, I'm not participating in this ridiculous war that's going on and the supply and the demand, and I'm not going to buy foods from other countries in specific locations, because what is happening is our food choices are narrowing and the prices are going up. And so we need to face the reality of the supplies of foods might be the best they're ever going to be for a long time right now. So if you don't have a nice supply of foods to keep your family fed going forward for a substantial amount of time, figure out what you can buy, what you do like to eat, what you know how to prepare, and have a variety of those foods in a food storage stockpile and a prepper pantry. Then if something happens, just to you, it doesn't have to be SHTF for the whole world. Something can happen to you. You lose your job. You run out of money before you run out of month. Somebody is sick, you can't get to the store. You have a catastrophe within your own home. You'll still be able to weather the storm with the food and supplies that you have. If something happens in your community, you're going to be even better off because you may not be able to go out and resupply some of the things that you want. And then if some SHTF happens to the whole world, we'll figure out what to do. But you'll have the supplies, the basic sustenance, the lifestyle insurance to keep your life running smoothly as possible for as long as possible, which helps you deal with the challenges of whatever comes your way. Grocery shortages are coming. It's up to you to decide how to best prepare yourself and your family so that you can make the best of whatever the future holds for all of us. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.